So the 2018-2019 Championship season has come to a close, and Blackburn Rovers have held their own this season, finishing off strongly with a result against Swansea City. We'll tell you what happened next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review, this time looking back at Blackburn Rovers' final game of the 2018-2019 season, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, world football related, all here under one roof. And I'm rocking the Make Rovers Great Again, boys and girls, that is made famous through my Football Manager 2019 series of the same name. I tell you what, folks, the future is bright. It is blue and white, and it is Tony Mowbray bright, as he held his own this season with the boys. But we'll talk all about that in just a second. Just want to let you know that I do have a hotly released Patreon page. If you are interested in offering some support in another capacity besides your viewership, there are 3 tiers of different support that you could consider. If that is of any interest to you, there is a link to that sucker in the description below. But anyway, let's jump into the thick of things and take a look at the match in a bit more detail, boys and girls. It did take place right at Ewood Park, and Rovers, with 16,227 people in attendance, managed to hold out for a 2-2 draw against a team that 12 months ago were in the Premier League, and also we were in League One, and we were just getting ourselves promoted from League One. A goal fest it was, but not the greatest goals spectacular wise anyway, as the first goal was a bit of a scrappy effort from Darragh Lenihan. I think it was a corner, but either way, it looked like Darragh Lenihan bumbled home the ball to give us the lead. It might be credited as their own goal, I don't know. It was such a mess. It was not goal of the season contender, that is for sure. So we took the lead on the 21st minute, but it didn't take long for Swansea to get themselves back into it. Just 4 minutes with Baker-Richardson, the youngster, up top, who levelled it before McBurnie, goal machine, made it 2-1 going into half-time. I was on the 35-minute mark. The hair dryers must have been out, or the pizzas must have been flying, whatever it was. Gaffer gave them some words, and they come out in rich vigour, and Bradley Dack levelled the scores 2-2 on the 47th minute. But then it was all Rovers, to be honest with you. We dominated, we pressed, we tried to get some more breakthroughs. To be honest with you, Swansea looked they looked done and dusted. They thought, you know what, let's get out of here with our legs in one piece. There was a couple of rough tackles from Travis, who just want to let McBurnie know, you know what, son, you may have scored earlier, but I'm here for the good of the game, and I'm going to try and take you out. So he was there nipping at the heels. Fortunately, there was no sendings off or anything, only a couple of cards maybe. But all in all, not a bad result considering these boys were in the Prem de la Prem last season. Let's take a look at some of the stats here now. We had Rovers had 11 shots, Swansea had 10. Swansea did actually have more possession with 53% compared to our 48%. They also had better successes with their passing, 84% compared to our 80%. We had more dribbles though, 15-9. They won more of the aerial tackles and tackles on the ground, but we did have more corners, 11 to their 3. Let's take a look at those starting 11s. First and foremost, with Blackburn Rovers, Leutwiler continued his run in goal with a pretty solid display, to be honest with you. He has grown in confidence as the games have gone by. Has he done enough to earn himself a new deal? We'll have to wait and see. Bell, Williams, Lenihan, Bennett, Travis, Evans, Dack, Rothwell, Armstrong, and Big DG up top. Now let's take a look at those important match ratings. First and foremost, Jason Leutwiler with a 6. He has been improving over the games as they've gone by, but to be honest with you, has he done enough to secure himself a future next season? I'm not too sure. To be honest with you, we have been linked with a couple of goalkeepers this past week, courtesy of the Sun. Joe Hart from those Dingle folks down the road, and also Scott Carson, both former England internationals. So they would be both definitely an upgrade of Jason Leutwiler. But you know, to be honest with you, would it hinder David Raya in the long term? We'll talk about that probably in a separate video. Anyway, Amari Bell with a 6, Lennon with an 8, Williams with a 7, and Elliot Bennett with a 5. Now Bennett only had a 5 due to the fact he was injured and was brought off at half time. I am growing or starting to like this combination between Williams and Lenihan as the games go by. I'm definitely feeling less nervous with those two at the back, or maybe because of the games didn't really have too much riding on it. Maybe that also helped with my nerves. But I'm liking it. I think they could be an option next season. I'm not saying they should be the first 2 names on the sheet, but it's definitely an option for Mowbray. As for the middle of the park, we had Travis and Evans. Travis with a 7 and Evans with a 6. Dacky Boy with a 7. Armstrong with a 7. Rothwell with a 6. And DG with a 6. There was also a cameo for Jacob Davenport. He came on at half-time for Elliot Bennett. Craig Conway also came on with what is rumoured to be his last game for the club. and also the Starman made a bit of an entrance as well, but to little to no effect. How about our opposition? Well, Norfolk was in goal. Grimes, ex-Rover, Carter Vickers, Horn, John, Fulton, this fella Briers, who doesn't have a name tag, Roberts, McBurnie, Routledge, and the goal scorer Baker-Richardson up top. Anyway, take a look at some more stats for you here. We had more passes. No, we didn't. Swansea had more passes, 493 to our 438. They also had more touches, 669 to our 605. They did have a lot of possession in the first half. It was the second half that we kind of turned the screw a little bit. Up there on the graphic, you can see whereabouts the shots took place. A couple of long ranges from Rovers. A wild one as well that looks like it went out for a corner. What else we got down the bottom of the graphic there? You can see whereabouts the shots took place. Rovers actually had 4 shots on target. Swansea only had the 3. And obviously a couple of them went in the back of the net. Anyway, here is the heat maps of your heat map man, just like me. You can see that the Swansea's goalkeeper was a very busy fella, as was the defensive third for Swansea. Seemed to be on the left-hand side, a couple of hot spots for you. As the Rovers going forward, down the right-hand side seemed to be a key prospect or key area for all the action. But yes, that result wraps up the season. We'll take a look at where that's put us in the table. It hasn't done much for progress-wise, neither has it done for Swansea. An all-square result like this compared to some of the other results. But all in all, it's not a bad season for Rovers. We ended strongly. Obviously, the last weekend's defeat against Norwich ended a run of 4 games winning. So the foundations are there. If the gaffer can hold his word and strengthen in the pre-season with bringing in some foreign talent, some bargain basement buys to add to the quality that we already have, and ship out some of the familiar faces that have been here and have done a job for us to get to this point. I think some of them are due to be recycled, maybe to League One or maybe other Championship football or whatever. We do need to kick on now and start to make some changes. A lot of these faces are very familiar with us, been with us for 3 seasons or more, and it's time for a bit of a change, time for a bit of fresh ideas. But I'm happy with Mowbray for the grand scheme of things. Anyway, let's take a look at what else went on this weekend as it came to a close. So the grand scheme of things. Anyway, there are some games still to be played in regards to playoffs. We'll talk about that in a second. Nottingham Forest, they picked up a 1-0 win over Bolton. Are Forest fans with what's this chops? Martin O'Neill going forward? I don't think so. I think they're playing a bit of boring football at the minute, but that might change over pre-season. Derby County ended strongly with a 3-1 win over West Brom. Those 2 teams will be in the playoffs. We'll talk more about that later. Brentford ended the season strong as well with a 3-0 win over Preston. Stoke could only manage a 2-2 draw with Sheffield United as Sheffield United failed to win the title. Rotherham lost to Middlesbrough, who just missed out on the playoffs, and that could be dangerous news for Tony Pulis. Wigan ended strongly with a 1-0 win over Millwall. Aston Villa lost to Norwich City 2-1. Hull managed a 1-1 draw with Bristol City. Ipswich Town beat Leeds United. The wheels have come off Leeds, just like the wheels have come off something else out there. Reading and Birmingham with a 0-0 draw for Wednesday lost to QPR, but the game of the day was obviously at Ewood Park with a 2 apiece. And this is your final Championship table, boys and girls. Norwich are the champions by 5 points over Sheffield United, who will go up with them to the Premier League next season. 2 unfancied sides, ousting the big bucks of Leeds, Aston Villa, Middlesbrough, Notts Forest and co. Stoke as well, Swansea. As for the relegation sides, it's Ipswich, Bolton and Rotherham. All those were decided prior to kick-off. As for Rovers, we ended up the season in 15th, 1 point behind our local rivals, Preston, in 14th. As for today's opposition, they finished in 10th spot. Good strong end to the season for them. And they'll be looking to get their season or their grand scheme of things back on track next season with Potter in charge. So I'm already hotly tipping Swansea to do a number next season, because I think they've got the right things in place already. And the vibes are there, positive vibes. I don't think they were expecting it this season, but I think next season, I think they'll be in the consideration. Hopefully we could be in the talk as well. As I mentioned earlier, there are playoff games to be decided. Aston Villa will take on West Brom. Derby will take on Leeds. Those 2 games initially taking place next Saturday, I believe, on the 11th of May. And the final games, wrapping it up, will be on the Tuesday and the Wednesday, 14th and 15th of May. West Brom against Villa. And the playoff final will be on the 27th of May. And obviously, we'll have to wait and see who will be in those playoff finals. But that And also, before we try to put a dicky bow around this sucker, this is the top goal scorers chart. Unfortunately, I don't think Bradley Dack will make it. He doesn't make it. 16 goals was Lewis Graben. He's the last name on there. Who kind of dried up towards the back end of the season. Pookie is the main man with 29 goals for him. Tammy Abraham, Neil Maupay are both hot on his heels with 25 goals. Maybe Tammy Abraham can add some goals to his tally in the playoffs, but we'll have to wait and see. As for the assist makers down the bottom, Benarama is the main man with 14 assists. Grosicki, Hernandez, Buenda, and Joe Lolly occupy the top 5. Now, you heard a little bit what I've had to say about the match. What did the gaffer have to say shortly after the final whistle? Here's his opinions as he wraps up Rovers 2018-2019 championship season.
Yeah, listen, I thought the first 20 minutes were really good as well. I think, to play against Swansea, if you're going to play the way we asked them to play, they've got to be real intensity. And I think after the initial 20 minutes of nicking it off them in their half, they got on top really by picking the right pass, the early pass. We knew how they play, we know what to do against them. And yet, when good teams get into their rhythm, and I think they got into their rhythm really. We talked at half time about getting back to what we were doing first 20 minutes, take it out of their rhythm, and I think we did that second half. I thought there was a greater intensity. I thought we were on the front foot. I thought we asked questions. The fact that we could play 2v2 at the back with the mobility of Williams and Lenihan helped us push extra men in. And I thought we could have nicked it at the end and won the game, but I thought we deserved the equaliser. And I thought it was a good game of football against two different styles. I've said to the team, we will endeavour to be as well controlled with the ball as they showed that they can do first half next year, as well as never to lose the intensity that we ask them to play at. And then when you marry the two together, you've got quite a good team. I think he grew into the game. I think, talked at half time, it was a bit quick for him. I think them first 20 minutes of his first 20 minutes, the second 20 minutes of the first half. But he grew into the game. I was really impressed with him at the end. That's the kid he is. I've talked to him this week about that. That's why I said I'll probably get you on the pitch at some stage. When I watched him playing for Burton on loan, he was all about mixing it really, putting his foot in, driving forward, got a wonder of a left foot, picking great long and short passes. He's just, unfortunately for the kid, had injury after injury this year, and then that's been psychologically difficult for him to be as robust as he needs to be in football. But I think sometimes with my shouting voice in his ear today, it made him get back to what he's good at. And we wouldn't have signed him if he wasn't a good player. We just, he needs to get the confidence back in his game after the injuries he's had. Listen, you want to finish as high as you can, of course. 60 points was the target. We talked about 60 points at the start of the season. We finished bang on 60 points. Is it a bit frustrating? I said that during the week, a little bit frustrating, I think, because we fell away February, March. But I think we've finished pretty strong. 4 wins, a loss and a draw out the last 6, and that's okay. We have to take that momentum into next season, hopefully strengthen. Of course, when we strengthen doesn't mean they're going to hit the ground running, any new players. So, it'll be the core of the team again, and we have to look forward to the challenge. I think we've got some really talented young footballers in this club. What we need to try and do is put some men alongside them that can help them, guide them, show them. I think the fans should be quite excited about the team that's emerging. When you look at the team that was out on the pitch there towards the end with Chapman and Armstrong and Dack and Davenport and Travis, and Lenihan's still a young guy. You know what I mean? It was Mari Bell. They athletic, young, good footballers, and I think if we can just keep teaching them the game, then I think the future looks bright. I hope so. Listen, we're working on that. It's really we've talking to some clubs at the moment. Really, it's really difficult because they all seem to think they've got Lionel Messi on their books. Sometimes, when you first make the call and you make the initial ask, it's it's millions and millions and millions of pounds, and yet I think they only use your bids to try and canvass other bids, and so that's why it's difficult. It's not as if we're not working, So if any supporters listening, it's the wheels are turning behind the scenes. Sometimes, unless you have got a barrel load of money that you just pay the asking price. We aren't that club. We need to get value for money. We need to make sure we spend the money as well as we can, and that's what we're trying to do. To working hard. Recruitment department's been non-stop travelling across Europe for the last maybe 6 weeks. Obviously the English market is something that we need to explore and look at as well, and try and get a balance of good quality footballers we think will help our team. A bit of experience that will help our team, and just try and put the jigsaw puzzle together if we can.
Now you've heard a little bit what the Gaffer's had to say, and now you've heard a little bit what I've had to say. What have the players been saying on social media, as well as some of the fans? Well, let's take a look. First and foremost, David Raya said this: another season ticked off. Thanks for the support I had throughout the year. Meanwhile, Craig Conway, who could be bidding farewell to Rovers, and what can I say? 200 games, amazing club, fans and lads. This team can go as far as they want. To make 200 appearances for this club makes me extremely happy and proud. To come on as a substitute. The tweet continues over on Instagram. Darragh Lenihan said this: another season done. Want to look back on with many positives and something to build on next season. Thanks to all the fans for your support throughout the season. It never goes unnoticed. Hope you all have a good summer. Meanwhile, Elliot Bennett posted this little picture down here with Daddy, number 31, gutted to the end of the season, having to come off with an injury. Hopefully not too bad. Thanks for your magnificent support this season, Rovers. Enjoy the break and get back to ready for 1920 season. Adam Armstrong said there's another season over. Looking forward to a nice break and then ready and raring to go for next season. As for Ryan Ian B says this: season done. Thank you for the fans' support. It's been amazing throughout. Some positives to take from it and on to next season. Have a good summer, everybody. Now, as for some of the fans on social media, Mike Delap said this: so in the end, a campaign that threatened to accumulate in relative disaster and a massive rut ends in happy fashion, genuine reason to feel bright about the future. Big summer ahead, but the platform for Rovers to build from, and a positive, massive group hug. High five. Meanwhile, Bet365, just to recap, Bradley Dack in the championship season, 15 goals, 7 assists. Baller, they say, hashtag Rovers. Meanwhile, Claire Nolan said this: and so another season comes to an end. Was decent first year back in the champ. Did okay, fun times, terrible games, ace games, not as many aways as I'd like, but same amazing mates. Maybe meet up in the summer as per usual. See you in August, everyone. Hashtag come on you blues. Rovers, BIFC, hashtag JW, hashtag Ewood. And we are the Rovers, aka Mr. Mac 84. My nephew got gloves handed to him by Raya. Hope you made his day. Best of luck next season, David, and hopefully have a good season. So that's just a quick recap of what's going on social media. You can check it all out yourself. Just head over to Twitter, head over to the brfcs.com forum as well if you want to have a maybe alternative point of view of the season, because usually there's a bit of a mixture over there. It's good reading. It's very detailed reading. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this sucker, boys and girls. And that's going to wrap up the season. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. And if you are new, by chance, smash your subscribe button, boys and girls. This should be your number one stop for Blackburn Rovers content. Fanzine style. That's me, boys and girls. I just want to let you know that you should also check out the old description. There are links to my other social media platforms in there. Twitter, Facebook, the hotly released Patreon, boys and girls, where you can offer maybe some more support besides your viewership. Check that sucker out. There are 3 tiers which offer perks and privileges, which means on the flip side, just record, I do have to get on it, boys and girls, to my current patrons. I'll be out with your special videos and your special newsletter and all that kind of good stuff. I'll be on it the next couple of days. Stand by for that. And speaking of the next couple of days, there should be a graphic popping on the screen right about now to show you what's coming on the channel this next 5 days or so. It's going to be a busy old week. I know the season's coming to a close, but the videos will keep on coming. First and foremost, on Monday at some point, I haven't got the time yet because I haven't actually recorded this video. I'm going to do a championship reaction video to my earlier predictions. There are some howlers in there, and there's also some pretty ones close to the mark. So I'm going to be posting that bad boy on Monday. On Tuesday, a similar video. As for League One, obviously, that season's also come to a close with some strange old predictions for that sucker. Some surprising relegations over in League One. And also on Wednesday, same deal. I did do a League Two prediction video as well. I'm going to go over that. Back to Rovers related content on Thursday. We'll do a season review. I'll go back and we'll relive some key moments. We'll take a look at some of the season stats. Maybe compare it to last season's and all that kind of good stuff. And then on Friday, we'll do a very, very early buy, keep or sell for the squad, maybe depending on what the results of the season review. Did somebody really let us down this season? Did they not really pull their weight? Did somebody exceed expectations? Are they likely to be sold for big bucks? That kind of stuff. We'll talk all about that, and maybe I'll chuck in some transfer suggestions. We'll have to wait and see. Again, all those need to be recorded, so I'm going to be busy over the next few days trying to churn these suckers out. But yes, just remember, boys and girls, I am here. This does conclude my match reviews in a row Rovers guys for the foreseeable future until August. We'll be back once, obviously, the new season comes around. And I'm going to be back trying to work on some other things. I did do a live instant or live match review over on Twitch earlier in the season, or a couple of weeks back, against as Rovers took on Bolton. That is something I'm going to be exploring again into the new season. That was kind of like a test run, like a pilot. So we'll hope to be doing that again as we move forward. We're going to have to do a lot of work on graphics, going to have to do a lot of work on other bits and pieces. And again, another thing, if you are a Rovers fan, this is my first shout out. I am going to be on the prowl for Blackburn Rovers fans out there next season, so that I'm trying to have an alternative Blackburn Rovers fan for each match day, and have their points of view, what they think. I've mentioned maybe a couple tweets out there in the past, but this is my first shout out on video. If you are a Blackburn Rovers fan and you would like to do something like that, stick your name in the comment section below and I'll get in touch with you. I will hunt you down and then we'll talk about it. All in all, so I think, how many games are there in the season? 46, something like that. I'd like 23 different Rovers fans, so you can come again twice. So that's my request. Wanted. Rovers fans, wanted. I want you. Get in touch. We'll talk about it, and we'll get you on the show next season. Yeah, looking forward to it. I am also looking forward to a bit of a break. It has been solid. I've been previewing each and every Rovers game. I've enjoyed every single one of them. And there's also been some other stuff going on. The channel will keep going over the summer. There's lots of international football going on. My Football Manager Make Rovers Great Again series comes to a close in the next few days, so please stick by for that. We're hoping to end it with Champions League glory. Fingers crossed. Yeah, loads of good stuff. It's forever raining videos here at Blackburn Rovers, and it will be continuously do so. Oh yeah, and hopefully we'll do an update video whenever I reach the big 10k. Fingers crossed this in the next couple weeks. I'll do a master grand update and all that kind of good stuff. And again, if you want to help out in another way, there is the old Patreon bad boy, which maybe there's another graphic behind me. Anyway, I'm going to bounce. Enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. I'll speak to you all very soon. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.